Welcome to a new segment on my YouTube channel called VERBUS DIABLO, where I read to you from my book, Ars Granorum, the 6 Seed Arts of Witchcraft. And yes, I probably will continue to read to you in this voice, because I don't know what else to do. We begin at the beginning, the introduction to the book called the Twilit Grove. I was lucky enough to grow up in a household rife with magic. When I was born, my mother moved with my sister and me into my grandparents' house, a place where the everyday was tinged with the supernatural. My grandfather was an occultist, mystic, alchemist, and astrologer, who wrote books on tarot, numerology, occultism, Christian mysticism, and much else besides, more for himself and our family than for anyone else. He would sit and talk with me for hours, teaching me as much as he could about occult philosophy and spirituality, but most importantly about authenticity, perseverance, and personal responsibility. My grandmother worked as a card reader out of our house and taught classes on metaphysical concepts and exploration of the self through art and meditation. She would take us into the garden and into the woods so we could talk to fairies, elves, and ghosts, dance naked with us under the full moon, wash crystals in the rain, and try to call lightning down from the heavens with prayer and song. Though my grandparents would never have called themselves witches, preferring to think of themselves as Christian mystics and metaphysicians, my childhood was characterized by what many people today would consider witchcraft. In fact, they told me to steer clear of witchcraft completely, that it would only lead to trouble and a lifetime of misery. They said it would be better to turn my face into the wind and experience the breath of God as my guide. When most people think of witches, even my grandparents, they instantly think of something evil, dark, and in direct opposition to the holy power of God, if only by merit of the witch's supposed loyalty to the dubious arch-nemesis of heaven, the devil. For many witches are the emissaries of hatred. The women who fly on brooms into unlocked windows to steal fat little babies for their stew pots, or the semen of sleeping husbands to create more demons for the devil's horde. They cavort with black cats and evil spirits at midnight sabbats, where they lick the ass of the devil and allow him to plunge his ice-cold phallus into every orifice of their body in defiance of the will of God. The above is, of course, not a reality. The idea that witches are only women is a common misconception, as there is no gender limitation on who can be a witch. Most witches I know do not believe in the Christian concept of the devil. They do not eat babies, many are vegetarian, vegan actually, and they certainly aren't into ice-cold sex. The inextricable hold Christianity has on the popular mind, though, has created a monstrous version of witches. In fact, the idea of the witch exists only in its relation to Christendom. Throughout history, there have not been witches per se, only those who work malicious magic against the prescriptions of the in vogue religion and those in governmental control. Other cultures have had different words for those who work evil through magic. Witch is decidedly Christian. Does that mean that we who call ourselves witches today and consider ourselves pagan are in some way mistaken in doing so? Can we extricate ourselves from the historical enmeshments that have created the referential amalgam category of witch? And I will leave it there so that you can find out the answer in the book when it arrives at your doorstep. This has been Cami with VERBUS DIABLO. Have a wonderful evening.